Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking something absolutely wild, the Akashic Engine. You know, we're moving way past just theory today. We're looking at hard, mathematical evidence to see exactly how a system actually proves its real-world value on-chain, right now. It is a real game changer. To make sense of all this, we're going to hit 6 key stops today. First, the search for immutable truth. Then, reifying a billion-dollar asset. Section 3 is the blockchain ledger of truth. Then we'll hit ON scaling and efficiency, live autonomous market execution, and finally, fueling the next expansion. All right, let's jump right in.
Section 1. The search for immutable truth, the foundational ethos of the Akashic Engine.
Okay, before we even touch the cryptography, we really need to understand the why. You see, this whole project was born from a profound need to establish immutable truth. It was literally forged in the wake of severe civil rights violations, and it's driven entirely forward by the enduring legacy of Bella's voice and Farah's fight. Because let's be real, when human systems fail us, or when voices get marginalized, the only real recourse we have is to build a mathematically undeniable system. That relentless search for an unalterable record, that is the very DNA of the Akashic Engine.
Section 2. Reifying a billion-dollar asset, from concept to on-chain reality.
So what does this foundational ethos actually produce in physical reality? Well, we are talking about a $1.424 billion valuation. And no, that's not some pie-in-the-sky projection. It is a completely reified asset right there on the blockchain. Specifically, we're looking at a sovereign IP token for an Alpha-Synuclein Structural Solution. Basically, it's a highly complex biological blueprint for treating Parkinson's disease, successfully transformed into a concrete institutional-grade asset. Mind-blowing, right?
But how do you mathematically ground an asset that massive? Well, it's kind of like a giant puzzle. You break it down. The entire asset is sharded into exactly 1,000 individual pieces, with each shard holding a hard-coded floor price of $1.424 million. By sharding the IP token this way, the architecture allows for a super precise, mathematically governed distribution of this huge medical breakthrough.
Section 3. The blockchain ledger of truth. Undeniable mathematical receipts.
Now, anyone can just slap a big number on a slide, right? To actually prove that $1.424 billion valuation, we have to look directly at the ledger. Here are the undeniable mathematical receipts deployed directly on the base mainnet. For complete, transparent, institutional verification, we have the exact contract address, 0x44E40D56E7FB4 0817B0817013B093431A. And right alongside it, we have the IP forensic hash, 0x B70E67B2595A99OBBC7E5AF43928A327E14F4C7, A72C7331D600329DFO2DFO. This is what guarantees the absolute integrity of the underlying asset. It's an active mainnet contract. The receipts are all right there.
Section 4. ON scaling and efficiency. The mathematical key to outmaneuvering legacy systems.
To really grasp how this massive asset operates so smoothly, we need to pop the hood and look at the mathematical engine powering the whole shebang. The secret? It's the ON scaling architecture run by the 19 Collective. In legacy computing, when you try to crunch highly complex multidimensional problems, like say the protein folding of alpha-synuclein for our Parkinson solution, the computing costs just explode exponentially. It basically becomes too expensive to solve. But ON scaling? That means the Akashic Engine processes these massive complexities linearly. As the problem scales up, the cost just grows in a steady, straight line, completely avoiding that terrifying exponential hockey stick curve.
And here is the real-world financial impact of that linear scaling. In quantum computing, a qubit represents a unit of processing power, right? Well, the legacy industry baseline sits at $0.0000120 per qubit. But thanks to that O of N architecture, the Akashic Engine operates at exactly $0.0000800 per qubit. That tiny gap right there, that is absolutely everything. It severely undercuts the baseline, meaning we can execute computations that are just flat out financially impossible for legacy systems.
Section 5. Live autonomous market execution. The Capital Forge is live.
And here's the best part. This mathematical advantage isn't just theoretical anymore. It has officially moved into live market action. The Capital Forge pulls this off in 3 really clear steps. First, it identifies that qubit cost gap we just talked about. Second, it uses that gap to execute live financial arbitrage in real time. And third, it successfully generates autonomous profit. Boom! No human intervention needed at all. It just finds the inefficiency and captures the value all on its own.
Actually, I really want to draw your attention to this date right here. As of today, May 16, 2026, we are officially out of the simulation phase. The Capital Forge is completely live, and it has already secured its very first autonomous market profit. It literally proved that the system can independently spot a financial inefficiency, act on it, and capture the value. The engine works, folks. The profit is real.
Section 6. Fueling the next expansion. A call for capital injection.
So having established the profound why, the mathematical how, and the undeniable on-chain what, we've arrived at the next critical phase. The system is ready to scale. We are officially issuing a call for both institutional and retail capital injections. Our objective here is crystal clear. We need to expand the computational dominance of the Akashic Engine and scale up the live arbitrage of the Capital Forge. If you're ready to participate in this expansion, funds are being directed exclusively to the official, verified funding wallet right here, 0x6750201-0FB0934A469BF660E51D7EC84B6974813. This is literally your direct portal to fuel the next phase of this architecture. So, as we wrap up this explainer, let's take a step back. You've seen the cryptographic proof of a $1.424 billion Parkinson solution. You've seen the linear scaling and the live autonomous execution. Looking at this immutable proof born directly from a fight for truth, justice, and the enduring legacies of Bella and Farah, the only real question left to ask yourself is this. As autonomous systems begin identifying and capturing market value entirely on their own, are you ready to participate in this immutable future and fund the truth?